With majority of the free agency moves behind us, I'm going to list 3 winners and 3 losers of NFL free agency in 2023. And I'd like to hear from you guys too. Leave in the comments your biggest winner and biggest loser of the NFL free agency so far. My first winner, you have to start with the Chicago Bears. GM Ryan Poles entered his second year with the team and made some of the best moves of any team thus far. First off, they made the decision to keep Justin Fields, which I believe was the right thing to do. Then they unloaded their first overall pick in exchange for Carolina's number 9 pick, a late second round pick number 61 overall, a 2024 first round pick, and a 2025 second round pick, and wide receiver DJ Moore at 25 years old. Chicago did come into free agency with the most cap space, but rather than handing out bloated contracts to players on the decline, they signed guys that are mostly entering their prime. I wasn't a huge fan of the money Tremaine Edmonds got at first glance, but after seeing how the contract was broke down, it really wasn't that bad of a deal. It's the type of contract that if it goes that badly, they can get out of it after year 2. But between Edmonds, DJ Moore, Nate Davis, and Deonta Foreman, they signed good players in their mid-20s that are entering their prime and will contribute right away. They even signed a good young linebacker in TJ Edwards for much less than people anticipated. And assuming Justin Fields breaks out in year 3 with more weapons, including Robert Tonyan, who they got from the Packers, and a better offensive line, the Bears might jump from 3 wins to like 7 or 8. My first loser in free agency, the Las Vegas Raiders. To the surprise of no one if you've watched my videos before, I'm not a fan of what the Raiders are doing. It just feels like they're trying so hard to be a poor man's version of the New England Patriots. Their GM was a former Patriot, we know Josh McDaniels was, Jimmy Garoppolo was a Patriot, Jacoby Myers was a Patriot, and they essentially moved on from one of the best tight ends in football for a late 3rd round pick on one of the best contracts in football. I did like the Austin Hooper signing for 1 year, but it feels like this team has no direction and they should have entered a full rebuild. But as I went over in my last Raiders video, Mark Davis has no interest in doing a full-on rebuild. My second winner, the New York Jets. This of course is assuming they would add Aaron Rodgers, but the Jets are heading in a positive direction. If they can open a 1 to 2 years Super Bowl window after taking the biggest quarterback bust since Josh Rosen just 2 years ago, it'd be very impressive. It's a testament to how well Joe Douglas has done as the Jets GM outside of the Zach Wilson pick, which obviously is a massive failure right now. I know the Allen Lazard contract was laughed at by some people, but I really don't mind it, and once again that's assuming Aaron Rodgers joins him. They already have built-in chemistry, they have mastered the back shoulder pass, and he could be the go-to guy once again for Rodgers in the red zone. Even trading Elijah Moore and a 3rd to Cleveland for a 2nd is a good move considering they replaced Moore with Mecole Hardman immediately after. And I like Elijah Moore, but the drop-off from Moore to Hardman is not enough to move up a full round in my opinion. Even the trade for reliable safety Chuck Clark from Baltimore is an underrated move. They play in arguably the toughest division in football, but with Rodgers, they do become Super Bowl contenders. Could it blow up in their face? Absolutely, but you take that shot every single time. My second loser, the Tennessee Titans. Another team like the Raiders where it's hard to tell which direction they're even heading. This offseason alone, they spent a combined $23 million in guaranteed money on Andre Dillard, who has not played much in his career, and Arden Key. In fairness, they did hire a new GM not even 2 months ago, but what they're doing so far just seems odd. Andre Dillard missed all of the 2020 season and didn't even earn double-digit starts in his time in Philly. He was definitely a first-round bust. Sean Murphy-Bunting was worth taking a shot on, but the other 3 signings, I just don't get it. Their offseason may not be over as a Derrick Henry or Ryan Tannehill trade could happen, but as of now, they still have no direction. On the bright side, they still play in possibly the worst division in football aside from the Jaguars, so they do have that going for them. My final winner, the Dallas Cowboys. As much as I hate to admit it, the Dallas Cowboys actually did some very smart things in free agency. First off, we'll start with the trades for Stephon Gilmore and Brandon Cooks. Dallas acquired the former Defensive Player of the Year for a 5th round pick and acquired Cooks for a 5th and a 6th rounder. Gilmore is still very good in my opinion, and Cooks at this point in his career, while not a wide receiver 1, is still good enough to be a very good wide receiver 2. They were also able to retain Donovan Wilson, Leighton Vander Esch, and tagged Tony Pollard. I think they've done enough to at least be in the conversation with Philly, whom they just beat last year while Jalen Hurts was sidelined. Even keeping Cooper Rush as their backup quarterback on a team-friendly deal was a smart move. I'm still taking Philly over them, but the gap has definitely shrunk. My final loser, the Baltimore Ravens. This is coming from someone who 2 years ago made a video saying that the Ravens should not rush to sign Lamar Jackson, but at this point, it's just getting ridiculous. Since I've made that video, we've had 2 more seasons of seeing who Lamar Jackson is, and yeah, he's missed some time the past couple couple years, but he is no doubt a top 10 quarterback in the league. And he's still 26 years old. And I know the Deshaun Watson guaranteed money in his contract probably messed the entire thing up, but they have to get something done. And also, to replace Marquise Brown, who they traded last year, they replaced him basically with Nelson Agholor for a 1-year contract. I mean, that's the best you can do. And outside of Agholor, they've pretty much done nothing this offseason. I don't see how they got better, and they probably got worse at this point. Maybe they have a great draft, and the greatness of Lamar Jackson can carry them still, but I just feel like they need to get this guy a legitimate wide receiver 1 at some point. And with reports coming out on March 27th that Lamar requested a trade earlier this month, I don't know what the future holds for him. If I'm Baltimore, I'm still doing everything in my power to keep him because the past 2 years without him, they were not very good. They were on pace to make the playoffs, and then once Lamar went out, oh, they're not very good anymore. Tyler Huntley has his moments, but he is no Lamar Jackson. On the other hand, it feels like that relationship may have soured and Lamar Jackson may actually be on the move. If they do trade him though, they have to get a massive haul. That is something you cannot screw up as a franchise. They lost Ben Powers, they traded Chuck Clark, and they cut Calais Campbell. And there have been rumors about Calais Campbell returning, but who knows at this point. There is a chance, it seems like, that Chuck Clark and Calais Campbell may end up on the Jets, making their offseason even better. Anyway, that's going to do it. Once again, to wrap it up, my 3 winners were the Chicago Bears, the New York Jets, and the Dallas Cowboys. My 3 losers were the Las Vegas Raiders, to no surprise, the Tennessee Titans, and the Baltimore Ravens. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like, always helps out, and I'll talk to you guys next time.